yet, so I'll pause. Hello and welcome to our spring concert. This is kind of crazy. A year ago today, I stood, not necessarily in the exact same position, but doing this same thing. And we looked out and saw an audience of only students. And now I'm seeing former students. I am seeing parents. I am seeing a lot more people. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to do this with you all. But I'm going to admit something to you all. This is incredibly nerve-wracking, not just for me, but for my students. I had one who just walk up to me a minute ago and say, "Miss Simmons, I'm going to die." It's nothing like a melodramatic teenager, I tell you. So I'm going to ask a favor of you all. Since we're kind of in a partnership right now, you are partnering with me as the audience. I am partnering with you as a person who's bringing to you this opportunity to hear some amazing music tonight. And we can have a reciprocal, positive relationship by how you respond to the students. They're going to have some fun, I hope, and then you're going to have some fun listening to them. Give them all the applause in the world. It's been a long time since they've had an opportunity to have an audience like this to listen to them play, so I'd appreciate it if you appreciate them as well. I'm going to have a word of prayer to open up, a prayer that our nerves will be calm, that the drum set won't slide across the stage. Don't worry, I have duct taped it to the floor, so we're hoping that's going to hang in there. We'll see what happens. Dominic's a strong drummer. He might just win this battle of the duct tape. So here's a word of prayer for that drum set and that wonderful duct tape. Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this Sabbath evening. We're so grateful for the Sabbath and all that it represents, the opportunity to rest. But as we come here this evening, God, we're maybe not feeling quite so restful, but it's a wonderful chance to just show all the talents that you've blessed us with, God. So I pray that you would be with my students today, God, and be with myself as well, that we'd all be calm and just appreciative of this wonderful opportunity. And thank you for it. In your name I do pray, amen. Open those curtains. At this point, you're probably wondering, how did I get here? By I do mean myself, not you. I hope you do know how you got here. If you're being kidnapped, just blink twice. But seriously, why am I standing here with the strains of Take Me Out to the Ball Game playing in the background? I don't even like baseball. But listen, I have a long story to tell you, so sit back and relax, and don't worry. They can play that thing for hours, so they're good. There's this man on our academy campus that he wears a lot of hats, and I mean that literally. I think it's against dress code, but I've seen him walking across campus with a Dodgers baseball cap on. I know, scandalous. But that's why I'm here. I believe in calling people out publicly, and we're going to do a lot of that tonight, starting with Mr. Derek Timms. If you don't know him, yeah, give a whoop for that man. Yeah. If you don't know him, you should. He teaches Bible exceptionally well. He runs student association like a champ. He has a killer volleyball arm. He plays basketball with teenagers, so obviously he lives life on the wild side. He has the cutest kids known to man. He digs up rocks, and his wife makes cookies that are to kill for. Like I said, he wears a lot of hats. 3 years ago, he invited the entire student body to share in his love of baseball because, in his own words, we at Ozark are a family, and that's just what we do. So, our first color, we talk about the color of music, is the color of blue, because that's for the LA Dodgers. Also, Derek Timms and the Ozark family, of which you are now a part of because you're here supporting these students as they make music. And that really is the theme of our entire concert, the family of Ozark. And we welcome you to it tonight as we get on with the rest of our program. So I opened up talking about the family of Ozark, and you're going to hear a lot more about them throughout this concert, and particularly our students. So I'm going to quote one of our students, actually, and that would be Kylie Light. I almost said Smith, my goodness. In her own words, this next piece, she says, and I'm going to try to make sure I do it in the way she does it. This piece goes from 4/4 counts to 3/2 counts to 5/4 counts to 2/4, all in the first 4 measures. So if I translate what Kylie was trying to say into plain English, this piece is hard. Speaking of translations, it was actually originally written in Gaelic, which I am not going to try to pronounce today, but it was written by the Irish singer-songwriter Enya Brennan. She was inspired to write Book of Days because of the book she was actually writing. And it's a book that, technically speaking, we were all writing ourselves every single day. And if you haven't guessed, that book will be a diary. She says the song talks about the beginning of the day and the excitement, the expectations one has for their day, and it's the eagerness of what has become of this particular day. And just like the crazy rhythmic changes in the beginning of this piece and throughout the entire piece, our days can often shift on a dime and go in all kinds of directions. These students have experienced that in spades over the past couple of years, but as they're writing their book of days, our hope is they will, in the words of the song, take it one day at a time, one night, one moment at a time. Book of Days. Our string quartet is going to get set on the stage right now. Don't worry, you're going to hear those awesome bell ringers again tonight. But the first piece that strings are going to play is literally a piece that you can't help falling in love with. Thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm going to be here all night, so it's fine. At some point, you'll catch on. But in all seriousness, I did pick this classic song called Can't Help Falling in Love. And by the way, does anyone actually know who the original singer is? Anyone want to admit their age? Nobody? Elvis Presley for the win? Oh, okay, okay. Yes, I know, it wasn't a trick question. I should have done that, my bad, next time. Well, so Elvis Presley sings this classic song in the 1961 film, Blue Hawaii. No, I'm not dating myself, I was not born in 1961, even though my students seem to think I was. But what a lot of people maybe don't know is that he doesn't sing this song to his love interest. He actually sings it to her mother. I know, a little odd, but a little random fact for you this evening. Now, I know I said string quartet, and that probably has you thinking, we're going to open the curtains, and you're going to see 4 people on that stage playing. You're not. You're actually going to see 7. Let me tell you the story about that. So, there we were, having a casual rehearsal, when senior Vashti Mangasson just starts jamming along with us on the congas. I don't know if it's a senior thing, but the next senior in the class, Julene Capabray, our first chair violinist, leans over and she asks me, can she play in the concert? Mind you, this was on Friday. The concert is today, only a day later. But if you know me, you know nothing gets me more excited than kids actually wanting to make music without me forcing them. So, we're going to do that thing. Next thing you know, another senior just suddenly popped out of the woodwork with a bass guitar in her hand, and now I have a mini band with my string quartet. So you're going to get a string quartet and then some tonight. And I'm serious, how can you not fall in love with these crazy kids? And that's our motivation for this piece. Love comes in so many shades. It's not simply romantic in nature. There's love between parents and their children, love between siblings, I hope, or maybe not. Love between teachers and students, and most importantly, love between us and God. I love these kids, and I love working with them, and I love the work they've put into all of the music tonight, and I know you love them too because you're here supporting them. So hopefully, as we play tonight, you're swept away, reminded how important it is to love. Featuring junior Nico Matalong on drums, senior Vashti Mangasson on congas, and senior Bella Dags on bass, Can't Help Falling in Love. So, speaking of shades of love, does anyone remember that Pixar movie Coco? Guys, I said remember. The title of the next song is Remember Me. I said I'd be here all night, my goodness. This is going to be a long night for me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Does anyone know what an EGOT is? Not an ego, but an EGOT. We know egos, I'm pretty sure. An EGOT. You know what an EGOT is? Okay, an EGOT is when someone wins an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar Academy Award, and a Tony. They have an EGOT. Well, the co-writer of this next piece we're going to play, Mr. Robert Lopez, who composed it along with his wife, Kristen Anderson Lopez, with this song became the only man in history to won a double EGOT. I know, pretty crazy. The film he wrote it for, Coco, operates on the premise that you truly begin to die the day that you're no longer remembered. I talked a minute ago about the senior connection that brought about that wonderful mini band on Can't Help Falling in Love. We're going to acknowledge those seniors later on tonight, but while I know they're excited to leave high school behind, we'll always remember them for being the amazing, wonderful people that they are. Each one, in their own unique way, has left an indelible impression on this school, and hopefully the school has left a positive impression on them. And the words of Remember Me, and I am paraphrasing, remember us, though you have to say goodbye. Remember us, don't let it make you cry. For even if you're far away, we'll hold you in our hearts. Featuring sophomore Sam Figueroa on congas and senior Bella Dags on shaker, Remember Me. Warning, I have a joke in this one. So it's hard to catch one though. I ran this with my sister, and she didn't catch it either. And she knows me really well, so I'm in danger here. Okay, just a year before I was born, so that would be long, long ago in a galaxy far away, this next piece was featured in The Mission. Catch that, The Mission. A film about the experiences of a Jesuit missionary in 18th century South America. For those of you wondering, that year would be 1986. Yes, you can do the math, I'm fine with that. In the film, a priest is killed attempting to convert an Argentinian jungle community to Christianity. Following his death, another priest, Gabriel, takes his oboe to a central location and plays this melody in the attempt to make a connection with them through music. Though his instrument is destroyed by the villagers, they are so captivated by the melody that he plays, they allow him to live. Now, Jolene, our featured soloist, is not facing down death, even if she feels like that from having to play the solo in front of you all. But she and all our students at OA face down challenges and struggles every single day. It is no secret that the world is changing all around us, and what I went through in high school isn't what these students are going through now. I am never not grateful that they choose to make music in spite of, or maybe even because of it all, and that they choose to make music with me. There's an undeniable power in music. I truly believe it's a gift from God, and it should be our mission. That was a joke, yes. The movie's The Mission. This is our okay. All right, it's fine. It's fine. It should be our mission to spread his gospel of love through music that we make. It's featuring soloist, senior Jolene Capobre. Gabriel's oboe. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Mr. You can come all day. All righty. So we're going to briefly, and I say briefly because I'm going to talk for a long time so they can reset. For the jazz ensemble, let me tell you something about the kids in this group. I told you tonight about calling people out. So I mentioned Jerlene a lot with a string quartet, but you know there's 3 other young people on that stage. There was freshman Lauren Alburo, freshman Grace Fetters, and junior Ryan Smith. And you're going to see 2 of those students again. And yeah, you can whoop it up for them, that's fine. In a few minutes, they're going to play with our jazz ensemble. It's actually not uncommon for students to be involved in multiple ensembles here at OAA. And since I'm the person who teaches every single ensemble, it never ceases to boggle my mind they're actually able to do that, because it's a lot. But it honestly makes the music department feel like one giant family, because we're all doing so much together, and we're seeing each other for so long, learning and growing through music. Speaking of learning and growing together, that's precisely what the year has been like for our jazz ensemble. This is literally our first time having a jazz ensemble here at OAA. And jazz is a genre and it's a style of playing that's completely new to all of our students. And then you're going to hear that tonight in a couple of things that we're doing. Our goal is to show you as many different jazz sound colors as possible, because many people have an opinion or a thought process of what jazz sounds like, and hopefully we can show you that it sounds quite different than you maybe think it does. We're going to start off with a jazz rock piece entitled Jamming with Charlie, and it's going to feature a soloist, which I will call again at the end of the piece, Tinon Lay. So I'm not sure that we're quite ready just yet, though. Maybe when I said briefly, I should have said a longer than briefly. So I will continue talking. Never mind. No. Just when you think, so when I was doing my script together and I was, yeah, I get the universal sign. Thanks, love it. So as I was putting my script together for this, and I was planning what I was going to say for each single piece, I finished up doing it, and I looked back at it, and I saw that I had, can you guess how many pages of script I have in front of me? That's closer. That's a lot. A sentence, I've already said more than a sentence. She said 20, that was closer. 23. Closer? 25? How did you guys guess that? Right on the money. Yes, I have 25 pages worth to speak here today, and still am at a loss for words. Isn't that shocking? It's a struggle. The struggle is real. But, I can tell you a story about my jazz ensemble. So while they're getting set, I will say this much. So we work with a lot of students in that class. Let me see if I can remember everybody. I've got a freshman in Lauren Alburo. I've got 2 freshmen. Obed Parra as well is on trumpet. We have an incredible drummer in Dominic Orion. We have, yep, that's okay, whoop it up for him. He's a senior. We have Tinon Lay holding it down for the sophomores with Qual P. We also have, I'm cutting that short. We'll talk about her later. Trust me, I've got a lot to say about Tenan. We're good. So here we go. One, two, 3, 4. I'm actually shocked that that drum set has survived. Did it move at all? It's still good. Okay. He's got 3 more shots at that, so we'll see. If you didn't know, solos can either be improvised, as in made up on the spot, or they can be pre-written. It's something we've been working on a bit in our jazz ensemble, and it's one of the benefits of playing jazz music because it really leans into students and their creativity. It's also a really nerve-wracking thing to do. So let's give it up for sophomore Tinan Lei, who's soloed on that number. Stand up, Tinan. Stand up, stand up. I mentioned we wanted to showcase the many styles and tonal colors that are possible with jazz music. That, if you couldn't guess what kind of style of jazz that was? Is a style we're kind of familiar with as far as music is concerned. Was heavy, but not metal. There's always one. So that was jazz rock. It was a bit hard-hitting and aggressive, and it really leans heavily on our percussion section. This next piece, though, is Latin jazz, and is almost completely the opposite. It's a lot more mellow and laid back, and the percussion is just used to accent what the saxes and the brass are doing. Bossa is a popular style of Brazilian music that derives from samba, and Madeira is a region of Portugal, which gives us Bossa Madeira. Give it up for Miss Lauren Alborough, soloing on sax. Yep, she's a freshie for sure. I mean that in more ways than one. So, this really doesn't have anything to do with the next piece, but I have to mention our keyboardist. I said I would, Tinan Lei, who I think is hiding. Like Lauren, she's only a freshman, and I had to heavily recruit her. You can read that as bully her into playing for our newly minted jazz ensemble. It was like pulling literal teeth. Every single day, she would say to me the same 3 words at every rehearsal. Miss Simmons, can I quit? I told y'all I'd be calling people out tonight. She doesn't really have a solo feature in her set, but she's doing a fantastic job holding down the ivories, and I'm so glad. That I didn't listen to her and I didn't let her quit. That really goes for all of our students. Bella Daggs on bass has never actually played bass prior to joining. Qual P on tenor sax. Learned how to play saxophone and read music just so he could be a part of the ensemble. And freshman Obed Para, didn't have band in elementary school his last year because of COVID, so he's almost relearning the trumpet this year. So it's a blessing to have this group here tonight. And yes, I do need to mention 3 others, but more on that in just a minute. First, does anyone know the music group Chicago? Yeah. Oh, thank God. Something's hitting tonight. For those of you who don't, they were an American rock group formed in the late 60s, originally known as the Chicago Transit Authority. Yeah, I'm pretty grateful the name didn't last. Possibly an even stranger name to title this classic piece by them. The students have an alternative name for it that I am not going to share with you, but it's a reference in actuality to time. Robert Lamb, the songwriter, was pulling an all-nighter trying to write a song when he looked down his watch. It was either 25 minutes or 26 minutes till 4 a.m. He was too tired to tell the difference, but that's when inspiration struck. Now, I can hear all my students inwardly saying to themselves, so that's how I get inspired to write my next paper. Well, no. Judging from the lyrics, I wouldn't advise it. It goes, waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, dancing lights against the sky, giving up, I close my eyes, sitting cross-legged on the floor, 25 or 6 to 4. I mean, that's not really the stuff of an A+ English paper, and I'm sure Ms. Markey would agree with me on that one, but it is the stuff of a classic rock song featuring soloists Nico Matalong on trombone and Ryan Smith on trumpet, 25 or 6 to 4. You may have noticed by now that there is one student ensemble I have failed to mention specifically. That would be the man in this very center in the glowing shirt, Dominic Orion. Applause is appropriate. There he is, there he is. Due to a very unfortunate miscommunication between myself and Dominic, he joined the ensemble as our official drummer just this semester. Prior to that, we had the wonderful Daphne Velosa, if you remember her, on drums, who unfortunately was unable to finish out the year with us, but is still very much part of our OAA jazz family. I mentioned before that I get super excited when students voluntarily want to do music without me having to force them. Though I have no problems doing that, as Tanan can attest. But something else I also love is when students want to share their music, the music they love, with their fellow ensemble members. So one day, Sir Dominic walks into my office and says, "Hey, Miss Simmons, would you ever think of having jazz ensemble perform Feeling Good?" Would I? Oh, come on. Let me tell you. I got on the computer and had it ordered that very day. So, now, while Feeling Good is probably known by a lot of people as Michael Bublé's standard, it actually originated on Broadway and was popularized as a standalone solo piece by the American jazz singer Nina Simone. The song carries a message of joy and contentment after hard times. If you were here a month or so ago for Senior Recognition Weekend, you would have seen how creatively this class of 2022, of which Dominic is a member, have basically addressed all the trials they have been through in their years at OAA in an SNL-type skit. This is actually their final weekend here at OAA before their graduation. And I personally feel so good about this song that Dominic chose. Because for them, in the words of the song, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm sure they're feeling good about that. In tribute to senior Dominic Orion, to all of our seniors, feeling good. It survived. Oh my word. Thank you, Dominic. I appreciate your. Let me guess. Tinon or Lauren? One of you two. Okay, we're taking a quick little break, about 5 or 10 minutes. You can turn on the lights in the house. We got a real big change on the stage. Run, I mean run, to the bathroom. Be back in about 5 minutes. We'll kick off the next set in just a few more minutes. So, I know I did not introduce them before they started singing, but I talked about jazz ensemble being an entirely new ensemble this year. In many ways, choir actually is too. Last year, we didn't have a choir class because of COVID, and so most of our students are relearning what it is to sing and use their voices and even to perform in front of an audience. And like I said at the beginning, it's kind of crazy. Just to give you an idea of the singers and their unique struggle, DMI, would you do me a favor? Would you play me the soprano note D on the piano? High, yes ma'am. Try humming that for a brief second. Feel kind of high? Yeah, a little tough to hum sometimes. When we first unveiled the piece they just sang, you should have heard the chorus of groans I heard from the sopranos. It's like, no way, Miss Simmons, you're crazy if you think we're gonna sing that. But of course it gets worse. As you might be thinking to yourself, the next note I want you to play is soprano note F sharp. Yes! Only the little kids with the, what is that, the dog whistle voices can sing that. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, there's no way it gets worse than that, right? It gets worse. DMI, play me the soprano note G. Soprano note. That's like when your infant's screaming and you scream higher than them to overshadow them. So it's not just our sopranos that are getting away with it, though. Normally our altos don't have to do too much heavy lifting, but in our last song, you're going to hear them doing a lot of lifting today. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to our last piece. But the piece they just sang in this next piece are lyrical twins. Hold On is all about holding on to the hand of God, no matter the circumstances, and Singaba Hambayo, say that 5 times fast, is a South African hymn of defiance against an unjust system. So, after tonight, the students will finally be free of me unjustly making the sopranos sing crazy high notes, of picking songs with maddeningly tough alto lines, and forcing the baritones to get down. Okay, we're working on it. I know we just got back from a break. I might have forgotten all this, okay? It's okay. Let's pick it back up with some really low notes. I love different tonal colors, and this piece is going to feature some unique colors in the presence of the Figueroa cousins on percussion, joined by our pianist, DMI Lay. Now, I have to mention by name specifically Sam Figueroa. He told me he wasn't going to play the djembe for me anymore if I didn't feature him. So, Sam, this one's for you. Yeah, I said I'm calling people out. So, featuring Samuel Figueroa on djembe, Benjamin Figueroa on shaker, and DMI Lay on cowbell, Singaba Hambayo. I'm not proud of myself, and I have a confession to make. I had to tell quite a few lies to pull off this next piece. I'm not usually a liar. My students can attest to that. Excuse you. I wanted the choir to close with something inspirational, and I couldn't think of the perfect piece until my twin sister mentioned this random song she heard on some dance show that I don't even think is in existence anymore. I didn't want her to know till tonight they were actually going to sing it, so I was a little bit deceptive about it. I had to do a lot of digging for this one. You can thank me later, sis, if you're out in the audience somewhere. Maybe, oh, she is. Yes. It's an original piece penned by Jordan Smith, who won season 9 of NBC's The Voice. He writes, "Didn't I tell you, I hear what you say, never look back as you're walking away. Carry the music, the memories, and keep them inside. With courage and kindness, hold on to your faith, you get what you give, and it's never too late to reach for the branch and climb up, leaving sadness behind you." Jordan Smith happened to be a Christian musician on a secular show, and he wrote this song a personal anthem of sorts. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to show who you really are. What these students do as musicians is taking an extreme risk to perform. It's the risk the audience won't appreciate the music. It's the risk that they may make a mistake and look foolish. It's the risk to work so hard for something and then put it out into the world for criticism. But thankfully, we're not taking the risk simply for ourselves. If we stand in the light of God, we'll be seen as we truly are. And yes, that was a joke and a pun, and you missed it. So our handbell ensemble is coming up for their final two numbers. I promise you, we're getting to the end of this concert. I don't know what it is about me having a Beatles song as what every single spring concert program I've ever had. But here we are. According to Paul McCartney, who wrote the song that we're going to play next, it's meant to be very positive because it owes itself to a very positive inspiration. He was dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety. Who can relate to seniors? Juniors too, and freshmen and sophomores as well. But he had a dream. We heard his mother say to him, "It's going to be okay, just let it be." And we're very grateful she didn't say "let it go," because that would be a completely different song. But boom, he had a hit song on his hands. Isn't it incredible how some simple, positive words can make all the difference? If we leave you with any impression tonight, let this be one of them. We hope to make a difference through positive music, and you can make a difference through your own positivity. I always say that positivity is a choice, and it's one that we should make every single day. So let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Never mind. So I'm going to let it be while they are back there setting up still, and I'll continue talking about our handbell ensemble. So briefly, before they are prepared or not, and I thought I had a lot to say. Our handball ensemble this year has expanded exponentially. Last year, do you remember the crisis we're dealing with at our last spring concert? Nope, wasn't that. Nope, wasn't that. Nope, it's a real emergency. Yes, a broken bell. Okay, we're not naming names. A bell was broken, that's all I'm saying. Well, thank goodness nothing crazy has happened this year, but we have another 13-member ensemble. It's been such a blessing to have a group of kids together who can ring bells. Our school recently expanded. We're hoping to expand even further. So if you're thinking ever of donating to the school, think about the music department and the fact that I want more bells. Because we want more kids to be able to play music here and be a part of our bell ensemble. You're going to hear a lot of different tonal colors from our ensembles. We look at our last two pieces, and we hope that the last two will be inspirational as well as the first two we played. So, yeah. I crack a joke, but they're all falling flat tonight, so I feel like that's dangerous business for me. Let me think. I feel they have been. As I was writing the script, I'm telling you, I felt so, and speaking of inspiration, I felt so inspired. My students are jokesters galore, and so I always feel like I don't understand why they can't find me funny, because like you guys are so hilarious. Everything you say just is funny, but I'm saying funny too, because I'm around you all the time. Like funny rubs off on people, you know? I guess it doesn't. So. Oh! Never mind. I gotta say that for later. Never mind. I can't say that. Arg, man. So many good ones, and just can't say them early, you know what I'm saying? Wow, I really didn't think it'd take that long. I'm going to try my open sesame trick. It sometimes works. Let's see if it works this time. Oh! quickly, does anyone know what Eurovision is? One person's nodding their head, the person I expect to nod. Okay. So, it's an international songwriting competition featuring participants representing primarily European countries. Each participating country submits an original song to be sung in the radio, performed on the radio as well, and they're voted on by other countries. And get this, they just ended today. And the winner was, can anyone guess the European country? No. 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 Ukraine! Yes! So shout out to Mr. Dominic Orion because I think his heritage is from Ukraine. So today we're going to play a Euro pop classic in honor of the Eurovision. I don't think anyone can say they have not danced in their living room, whether they were 17 or not, to this next song. So we're going to play for you a very rousing rendition of ABBA's hit, Dancing Queen. You know that horrifying feeling that settles in the pit of your stomach when you turn the page and there's nothing left and there should be something left? That's what I'm feeling right now. Thank God for cell phones. So, the next piece, I am so pleased to announce, if I know what it is. I mentioned a few minutes ago, weeks, I feel like I've been here that long, a few minutes ago, that our seniors were working on their senior recognition weekend, where they also have to work on senior projects, much to their utter regret. So, this past year we had a lot of inspirational moments from our seniors. Many of them were working on music pieces, much to my enjoyment. And honestly, I would have every single one of them up here performing, but unfortunately that's not the case. I only have one that I was able to drag up here kicking and screaming to perform what is actually an original piece that she composed for her senior class project. Her name is Chisaru Kegbu. Applause is definitely appropriate. And I want to make sure I say a little bit about this piece, and honestly, I'm not the best person to do that because I didn't write it. She wrote it herself, but I know a little about it because I was actually her mentor, even though I did absolutely nothing. This is all Chisaru Kegbu and nothing to do with me at all. So, it's called Pixelated Summers. It was inspired by her love of video games, summer, and you can probably guess why summer, because there's no. Yes, I know, I feel like, is that like a dig at teachers? I don't know, I'll leave that one alone. Anyway, and also Japanese music, and she actually has different lyrics in there that I'm like, this is crazy. Our kids know how to sing in different languages, I love that. So, I'm gonna give you, in just a few minutes, if she's ready, Chisaru Ukegbu performing an original song called Pixelated Summers.
I'm up in the morning, I can't stay and snoring cause the beach is calling my name. Yadare mo tayo mushi shite inai natsu wa kawaranai. I ride to the rhythm as the ocean sings, dance with the trees as they shake in the breeze. You know you wanna come and play along. Grab a controller, come on, let's start. Load it up, plug it in, cause you know it's time to depart. Atarashi sekai eta no shi. Take my hand, we're running to the ao hikari. I love those pixelated summers. Wish I could jump into the world. All the deep pixelated summers. Cause you know we'll level up, up. When we kick it back in summer drive, we keep the night alive. Yeah, you know we're burning it, burning it up. Have some multiplayer game when I'm with you. Turns out, natsu o norikiru tame no sayo no hou wa tomodachi o tazuneru koto desu yo. AB combo, yeah, you know it's a party. PC, mobile, console, I don't mind. Subete ga ishoni tanoshi. I love those pixelated summers. Wish I could jump into the world. All the deep pixelated summers. Cause we know we'll level up, up. When we kick it back in summer drive, we keep the night alive. Yeah, you know we're burning it up. Life's a multiplayer game when I'm with you. Feet in the sand, don't misunderstand. I know the meeting wasn't a chance. Whoa, okay. Okay. Feet in the sand, don't misunderstand. I know that meeting you wasn't a chance. Endeavor, doko eitemo. You already know it's meant to be. I know that in those lonely nights, I'll be alright. Boken ga hajimaru. Mate iku junbi ga dekite iru kara desu. When we kick it back in summer drive, We keep the night alive. Yeah, you know we're burning it, burning, burning it up till we see the morning light. When we kick it back and suddenly drive, we keep the night alive. Yeah, you know we're burning it, burning, burning it up like some multiplayer game when I'm with you. Totemo tanoshibu to the sky. I love those pixelated summers, 'cause life's a multiplayer game when I'm with you.
So, well, I gotta hand it off to Chisara. My goodness, I couldn't do that myself. Listen, oh my word. But while percussion ensemble is getting set, I want to take this opportunity, as I always do at the end, before we get to the end of our concert, to express my gratitude to all the individuals who have played a part in making this event possible and successful. It seriously takes a village to do all of this, and I apologize if I missed listing anyone in my program, but I'm going to call out a few names. If you're still in the room, you can stand, receive some applause. I want to thank Zach Krine, Marcus Porter, and Nathan Farley in the back sound booth for what they're doing with the lights, sound. Those gentlemen have been here all week helping me with different rehearsal strategies and setups, and as we were trying to do certain things with the lighting and whatnot, they have just been absolute troopers. I want to thank Donald and Debbie Upson for being back there and filming us and putting it on YouTube as well, so that it can be viewed for a long time. I want to thank my twin sister, Dawn Marie Simmons, for filling in for string quartet and helping us out there. While I'm talking about string quartet, I want to thank Grace Fetters for filling in as well. She's somewhere in here. And playing violin for us there as well. On the stage, you may have noticed some beautiful backdrops that was done by an incredible artist who has artwork on display here in our school still to this day. And her name is Josie Staubel. So I want to thank her for painting our backdrops. There she is. Stand on up, girl. Yay. Awesome. And I also want to thank the staff of OAA who have suffered under me pulling off a few extra rehearsals and cutting into your classes. I have crawled into your room literally and begged, so I hope that was worthwhile. Thank you so much for allowing me to do that. And I also want to make sure I thank, again, publicly, Sam Figueroa for playing for me. Just make sure he got that in there. And all the accompanists like Bella Dags, Vashti Mangassan, Nico Matalong, who else did I not name? Benjamin Figueroa, and DMI, of course. Listen, DMI, oh my goodness. And she did all of that in some incredible heels. If you've not seen her heels, take a look when she's walking by. That's a girl, I don't even know how she does it. But speaking of DMI, I need to mention my seniors as well. If you look at the bottom of your program, you'll see the names of our seniors listed under special thanks. Please, if I missed one of you, I apologize in advance. Kimberly Aduwanmi, Emma Cook, Hannah Harris, DMI Lay, Vashti Mangassan, Marite Kalonji, Gabby Figueroa, Chisara Ukegbu, Dominic Orion, Bella Dags, and Jerlene Capobray. And don't worry, I'll give them a chance to have a final bow at the end, but I wanted to make sure I acknowledge them. Seniors are really the lifeblood of our music departments. Many of them have served many years. Being here, Ugochi! Oh my goodness, kill me now. Ugochi, stand up. I will forever live in the shame of infamy of forgetting to put you on that program as a senior. My apologies. I will crawl to you later on and beg your forgiveness. So, and I mean that, I have no shame. So, moving on to our last piece. Our final ensemble this evening is still kind of fresh and new, but they are quickly developing their own personality. We started our percussion ensemble last year in response to COVID limitations, and honestly, I'm hoping it'll stick around for many more years to come. We will play literally anything we can get our hands on in percussion ensemble. I have begged the staff to give me every 5-gallon bucket they possibly have. I have borrowed, broomsticks from every department here on campus. If you're missing a broom, it's probably my fault. Sorry about that. I meant to say something. Ah, yes, thank you. I can literally retire. Someone has finally got it. Thank you. All right, and Mr. Mason probably knows as soon as he sees me coming that I'm there just to scope out all of the wonderful machinery he has that will make a possible percussion instrument. We're always looking for supplies. But tonight, we're going to keep it simple. A bucket, a chair, and a pair of sticks with a drum set, and you have Tubs and Buckets, featuring a solo by literally every member of the ensemble. I give you Tubs and Buckets. Dancer show, seniors, come on up. Kimberly Adewambe, Gochi, come up here on the stage. Emma Cook, Hannah Harris, DMI Lay, Vashi Mangassim, Marite Kalonji, Gabby Figueroa, Chisari, already up here. Dominic Orion, UNC are still coming up here. Bella Dags and Jolene Capobre, come up for a final bow. There he is. Line up in the the front. Give them a photo op, please and thank you. Step up here. Step up here. Step up here, Hannah. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Bow with me and take a bow. We'll try it again. One more. And thank you for coming out tonight. Have a great night.